All right, yo. We're here at golf. Well, we're not calling it. You know, it's Golf City, but we're not calling it anymore. We have changed our approach to this thing. We are using the real names. This is PGA West, and this is the final holes of the Celebrity Classic, first tournament on Season 4 of the Tenacious Golf Tour. The leaders are hitting the 15th hole. We're pretty late in the round. This is a D tier tournament, which, if you're new to the tour, actually I would just say that the D tier is kind of a new thing itself. So it's kind of like a combination of the Tenacious Tour and what was left over of the Slacker Tour, because unfortunately it was too many tournaments total and it was kind of tough to keep track of. So I feel like it's I prefer to, I'm trying to get my alignment here correctly. I prefer to do this as a few extra tournaments on the Tenacious Tour where we allow some of the lesser golfers to have more of a showcase, and that's what we have here. So the hue within my camera setup doesn't necessarily seem so hot, so I'm going to see if I can find it better. Well, that's going to have to do. So, hope you can see the leaderboard here. It's a little small. I've widened some of the things, but I have also made some of the fonts bigger, so I don't know. Hopefully it looks good for you on your screen. I'm not sure how many people, I'm not sure how many people are going to be watching this, but we're going to keep going and broadcasting these things, and hopefully a few people get something out of this. So the way it started here, we had Roberto Bastos with a 2-stroke lead to start the day over Fabio Antonucci and Justice Kramer. Justice Kramer being the only custom card that made the final groups here. But Justice has played a great round so far. He's 3 under par. We've already passed the point of the emerging contender, and that roll came up nil. But so he has a 2-stroke lead through the 14th hole over Chico Fonseca, who rolled a perk of gold putting before the round, so that has helped him greatly. He is 2 under par. The Argentinian Isaac White, a relative newcomer to the tour here, is also 2 back, and then Bastos, who started the day in the lead, now finds himself 3 shots behind. Bastos, a former winner on the Slacker Tour, was hoping for his first title here. Fabio Antonucci, 1 over par, is 4 behind, along with Kenny Service. So a few Americans here on the leaderboard, but also a rather international flair as well. Below Service, we have Kevin Percival, the Welsh fiend, who is now 7 back. I'm keeping him in because we're so late in the round, but he is technically out of contention, but we're going to keep rolling it as we finish out. Then we have Carlos Quesada, who's also in his group. We're not going to see much of him, Colombian. Cliff Pettibone, Jim Zeithoff, a couple of Americans. Cliff is -12, while Zeithofer -11, along with the Canadian Michael Reed, which in real life there's a Mike Reed who plays golf, but is a professional golfer. But this is not that Mike Reed. This is Michael Reed. And then Yanni Najima, he's kind of had the worst of it today. +3 on the round, and just all these guys are out of contention. good evening, JT 2.0. And I'm definitely glad you were able to catch this as well. So we'll see how this comes out. Looks like Kramer's in good shape here, but there are some water holes on the way in, so nothing is a guarantee. So we're going to start with 18 and this group that is going to finish up, that we're not really going to see them play the full hole. And so the 18th is a medium long par 4, 435 yards. And you got water on the left side. You can kind of see this is a slight dogleg right if you look at the cards there. So we're just going to play this out here. One more water hazard to deal with before signing the scorecard. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's do it like they would usually do on the golf broadcast back in the day. How is my lag? Let me see something. Something's not quite. Well, first off, this should be frame rate, not exposure. And let me see something. Oh, that should be okay now. Hi, John. Is that better? Oh, yeah, that's a little better. So back in the 80s and early 90s, they only showed about probably 7 or 8 holes. But what they would do is often would give you a flyby of the final 4 holes and talk about who would be doing the coverage from the tower from each of those. So the 15th, 468 yards. This is a pretty long par 4. It's like, from a regulation standpoint, 475 is usually like the longest par 4. Now on the tour, you're going to get some 500 yarders just because whether it's they play downhill or just these pros just hit so dang far. But anyway, the 15th is a straight and true tee shot, and if you do that, you'll stay out of trouble. If you're going to miss the green, miss long. There's bunkers, and so 5 degrees of course difficulty, semi-daunting. 16, a par 5, pretty easy, 560. A fair chance of being able to reach the green in 2, but still not great. Dangerous bunkers line the left side. That's what this is here, and it makes, there's a little asterisk, which is the caution symbol, meaning that if you end up in the left bunkers, your putt is going to be tougher when you get to the green. So the dangerous bunkers line the left of the hole and pose threats to every shot along the way. 560 yards. Again, only 1 degree of course difficulty, so if you roll 5 on the white die, you have a chance to contend with those bunkers. But still, it's a cordial hole. And again, if golfer gets control, it's semi-direct, so you've got some choices there, some potential rolls that can lead to an eagle. That would be really helpful for a guy like Chico Fonseca, who is coming down the pike here. If he can get something on 16, he'll be playing that shortly. The 17th, a par 3, short, I would say, for professional tournaments. 165 yards is shortish. Usually they're going to lengthen those up to close to 200 for a pro tournament, but there's a lot of water, and it's a island hole. Stadium course's famous island hole, no margin for error. You can see, depending on the quality of the picture, there's waters all through here. There are a couple of them that, if you're a hero, champion, or laser, you get away with it, but it's semi-daunting. The green isn't too challenging, so I would say taking control. If you had a chip and you wanted to burn it here, taking control isn't going to hurt you if you get golf cam green on the golfer charts. But it is semi-daunting, so if you get 3, 4, or 5, there is a chance you could end up with some bogey rolls. And then I already mentioned 18. Not a particularly difficult finishing hole. It is 4 degrees of difficulty, but no modifiers here. One more water hazard to deal with down the left before signing the scorecard. Golfers will need some gas left in the tank to birdie the final hole. So birdie is possible on that one. And what we will do is we will start at 18 with these 3 golfers. We're going to do the out of contention roll. So it's a neutral hole, and who these are, it's Michael Reed here, Cliff Pettibone, and Jim Zeithofer. And Zeithofer has the honor, Pettibone and Reed as the order. And so I go, the white is first, the black is second, and the green is third. And so the white, a 1 on a neutral hole is going to be a birdie. And so he shoots 73. Zeithofer does. Now a 4 is a par, as is a 3. So 74 for Michael Reed, and 73 is for the other two guys in that group, and they're finished with their round. So I decided to make this one considerably shorter, this particular video, because again we have it as a D tier tournament, so the prestige isn't quite as grand. Okay. So to 17 in this difficult par 3. The first two guys that will go, they have the honor. It's going to be Nijima followed by Quesada, so we're going to roll those two. Semi-daunting, and they are 6s, so they're both going to be bogeys. And Kevin Percival will be hoping he can avoid the bogey here. How many chips does he have? He just has 1 chip, so he's not going to be able to try and take control of this. We will see what his role entails. 24 is he finds the rough green side on this par 3. And so green 2, that's a good chance. No, he's not a master, but he still should end up here with a par. 80 some odd % of the time, 1 to 5, and he misses it. So everybody's going to bogey this hole as long as he can make the easy follow-up, and he does. But all bogeys for this third to last group. And one moment, as I will add, if I can find it here. Well, I'm going to have to find it for next time. I don't know where. Well, there's one other place I can look real quick. If I can find it, it will help. If not, you guys will just have to. That's not it. Let's try here too. No. Alright, well, I'll have to come up with that little chart the next time. I'll just try and explain it really well if I can remember. So the par 5 here, this is a real good chance for Chico Fonseca to be able to make up some ground. First it'll be Isaac White, the American. He's also 2 back. So both these guys could stand to get a birdie or possibly an eagle here. And White has some chips to spend. He's got, is it 3? He only has 2, but that's enough on 17 if he decides to save them for that, or he could use it here to improve a putt possibly. Now it's only cordial, so he's going to get a 3rd blue chip. That's a par. He's going to take his par and move right along. Although, wouldn't be a bad time to try and maybe use the green. Well, we'd have to re-roll the white die on a par 5, so that's something else. Anyway, so Chico Fonseca, the Argentinian, looking for his first tour victory. Would love a birdie here. And it's 1-2-6. Is that going to be good enough for a possible eagle chance? Let's see. Is he dynamic? No. But is it direct? Semi-direct? Oh, the decider die says no. So no chance for that. He's not guilty. He's going to have a moderate putt for birdie. He's going to go ahead and spend it here. So that's going to make it easy. He needs a 1 to 4. So he improves them 1 to 2 moderate to 1 to 4 easy, and he misses it. Gimme par for Fonseca, and this tournament's looking a lot easier for Justice Kramer now. Also looking for his first victory, but being a custom card, I think he would be the 4th Tenacious Golf Tour winner who is a custom card. Now Kenny Service, and it's going to be Course Control 44. We take the black and the silver dice. You can see it there. 44 is going to be the rough in 2, so bad bounce in the fairway, and he's going to have to be trying to get up and down here. Kenny Service. See, a master recovery has no master there, so double difficult putt for birdie. He will lag this. I do a lag roll. I'll have to explain that another time. And that will lead to an easy par. We roll the 2 dice. 6-6 miss would be the par. Would be the missed par putt on an easy par. It's called the high roll. So now to 15. And it is our leader, Justice Kramer, ready to play here. He has 1 blue chip. 3. So 24 is going to be Golf Cam Green. That is a good break for him because there's no challenging designation here. Par 4, green 6. Friendly or laser? Justice Kramer is laser. He's going to have a clutch birdie putt. He is semi-gold. Can he get a 1 to 4 and move it to 3 shots? He misses, so he's going to lose his blue chip. And now an easy bogey. Or no, easy par, excuse me. That's a par for Justice Kramer. He loses his chip, but he does save his par, so at least he doesn't have to worry about that. Now, Roberto Bastos needs birdies. He's 3 back. Can he catch a break here and get a good roll? He's at least going to get a chip and a par. So he'll have 3 holes left with a blue chip to spend. If he could find a way to a birdie on 16, that would be a big help. Fabio Antonucci, 23, is going to be rough in 2 and a green 2. He has no recovery skill listed, so that's going to limit his chances to be able to run this for birdie. So rough in 2, green 2, not a master, so a moderate putt for par. Antonucci, 1 to 5 makes it. So a par for Antonucci. So still Kramer with a 2-shot lead with the holes dwindling. So to the 18th, it's going to be, again, Najima and Quesada first. Neutral 4 for Najima is a par. A 1 for Quesada is a birdie. So Najima 76, 4 over par, 74 for Quesada. You can see them on the leaderboard there. And that brings us to Kevin Percival, who is 8 shots back, but we're just going to finish out this round. He's going to use the blue chip to take control of this. See if he can get a good roll here. 1, 2, 4 off the par 4 chart. Duffer, he's not. Firm green, no. Golf Cam Green. Par 4 green chart. Green 4 on the, well, 4 on the green die. Friendly, no. Challenging, no. It's a clutch par putt. He already spent a chip, so he can't earn a red if he misses it. 1 to 3. He misses that, so now a bogey. Easy bogey putt makes it, but that's a disappointing finish there for Percival. +3, a 75 today, and he ends up tied for 10th with Reed. So to 17, and it's going to be Isaac White. He's going to play a blue chip, roll the decider dice. It's a semi-daunting, and he can take control of it without spending another. So, and he can also spend the second one here to improve a putt if he wants to. So the 17th, it is 256 par 3. Not a hacker. So we go to mood, and white does not have a mood. Green 5, is he stormy? He is not. That's going to bring us to a moderate birdie putt. So this is a weird one where it's going to give him a mood. If he misses it, he's going to get stormy. If he makes it, he's going to get sunny. He's going to use the blue chip to make it from moderate to easy. He's a 1 to 4 to get a birdie. If he's birdies, he'll go to sunny. And it is a birdie. So a birdie for white, and that moves him to minus 19, 1 behind, and still a chance. You can just find a birdie on 18. That would tie Kramer, or hope for an unforced error along the way from Justice Kramer. Lack of experience can play a factor here. Chico Fonseca. Okay, 2-2-4. He has control with a white 1 on this 3 control hole. 2-2-4. Is he a champion? He is. This is an easy birdie putt. So Fonseca would join white at minus 19 if he can get a 1 to 4. And he makes it. Chico Fonseca, Isaac White, putting the pressure on Justice Kramer. I think Kramer can see the leaderboard from his position on the 16th, so we'll see if that ramps up his nerves. Now, Kenny Service. And that is going to be a patient par for Service. He'll remain 4 behind. A little too late for him. All right, to the 16th. And Kramer, a hole that you could increase the spread here if you can get a birdie on this par 5. Let's see what happens. And 2-4-6 on the par 5 chart. He's not a duffer, not utility, not a champion. We go to right now. And right now he is neutral. This is a green 2 is going to ask, is he hot? So he isn't. So it's a difficult putt for birdie. And he is going to lag this. So if he lags a difficult birdie, it will lead to a gimme par. So there you go. It would need to be 1s or 6s for something other than that result. So now a gimme par, avoid all 6s, and he does. Could have given him a better shot to make that birdie, but then he would have been left with a 1 to 5 par putt. And better to play safe there and see if you can get a better chance at a birdie on 17 or 18. Roberto Bastos. And that's 1-4-5. Go to the par 5 chart. Duffer. He's not a duffer. Hacker, no. Firm green, no. Okay, Golf Cam Green is going to be our check. And the par 5, green 5. Friendly, no. Challenging, no. It's an easy putt for par. So 6-6 miss, otherwise make, and he makes it. Remains 3 back, but he's running out of holes. And now Fabio Antonucci. Speaking of running out of holes, this guy is 4 back, but he'll take a top 5 finish here if he can just keep it safe. 4-4-6. Legend or bomber? He's a semi-legend with a dot, so he's going to get a blue chip, and he hits a very long tee shot. The gallery gives him a rousing round of applause. We go to green 6 on the par 5 gallery cheers. Hacker, no, he's not one, so we get strong applause as a result. We re-roll white die. It's a 5. That's a double difficult putt for birdie. And he's going to he's going to take a chance here. So double difficult goes to difficult with 1 chip, moderate with 2. Now he needs a 1 to 2. Not a great one here. Not a great chance. Only 33%, but he misses it. So easy par. Had to take a chance here along the way. It wasn't the greatest opportunity for one, but at some point you have to let your chips fall, and it seemed like a decent place to do it. Hi, Brandon. Good to see you. Yep, John West was here, JT 2.0, and hope anybody else out there lurking around is having a great Thursday. Looking forward to the final day of the week, El Frideo, as we start to lose days in the month of January. We're already at 12th in, getting close to it, and kind of amazing how the time ends up flying. So we're to 18 with these two guys who are 1 back. You know, do they want birdies? Obviously, yes. Isaac White will take control of this. That would help him avoid any chance at water. A par would be great, but a birdie would be excellent. Ty Kramer put it in the clubhouse with a score there. So 4-6-6 on the par 4 as he spent a chip for control. Isaac White coming off birdie, looking for back-to-back to close it out. 4-6-6. Is he a shaper? No. Is he hot? He is semi-hot, and the dot is a yes. So that's a yes. That's an easy birdie putt. So he's going to re-roll green. If he can get a 1 to 4, he will join Justice Kramer at -20, and that will be his final score. Oh, and it's a 5. He misses it. Just a little too much pressure on that one. And so now the gimme par for White, and he's going to have to hope for Kramer to make a boo-boo. That's a par. That's a nice score for Isaac White, but it's too little to really put forth his best effort there to try and get it, at least get it to a playoff. Now Chico Fonseca, only 1 degree of course difficult, or no, 4 degrees of course difficult. Only 1 chance that he will check his traits. And there it is. It's a 2.55. Let's see how that works out. Wow, that is lucky. He got the 1. Is he a legend? No. Hacker? No. Golf Cam Green. Green 2. This is probably going to end up a par, but let's see. Golf Cam Green, par 4, green 2. Friendly? No. Challenging? No. Easy putt for par. He's going to have to settle for par with White here as long as he avoids 6s, and he does. So 2 guys in the clubhouse, -19. If Kramer goes par, he wins. Birdie, bogey, he wins. Bogey, birdie. Double bogey. Yeah, you do the math. Kenny Service, he'll take control of this. See if he can get to -17 and knock Antonucci out of the top 5. 4, 5, 6 is Golf Cam Green. Don't even have to look it up. Par 4, green 5. Friendly? No. Challenging? No. It's an easy putt for par. And he's going to stay at -16. And there it is. And I see that my leaderboard is a little wonky here. My move to Excel has sort of bummed that up a little bit there, but that's I'll just have to take a look and see where my logic has gone awry. Now 17, and the leader, Justice Kramer, he is on 8 pars in a row, and he's 3 under par on the round. Just a steady 3 birdies, no bogeys. So Brandon Baker with a good question for someone who's maybe hasn't played this game in a while, or is just starting. And you know, sometimes things like this can be tough to learn from the book. I know sometimes it's not spelled out exactly in the most convenient way. So yeah, hot, semi-hot, cold, semi-cold. It is based off of, so there could be a couple ways. One is you get these rolls ahead of the game, or that in like special results, and it will say the golfer is hot for this round. You do get cases like that, or cold this round. Let me double check this. Is it on this chart? It's not on the perks and issues chart, but there are some special results where that will come up. But more often than not, where you're going to get it is, it's kind of like if you've played History Maker Baseball, there's hot and cold, and that's based off of strikeouts or base hits for the pitcher or the hitter. In this case, hot means, have you birdied in the last 2 holes, or have you bogeyed? Are you under par or over par? But it's the 2 holes, and so if you have birdied the last 2 holes, both of them, you are hot. Don't need to worry about the decider die. You just go with it. You are hot. So it's another reason why it might be worth spending chips on when you are on a birdie streak, because let's say that you're on a birdie streak and it takes you to a chart where you have let's say an easy birdie putt. If you've got a blue chip, you might want to spend it there to get it to gimme, so that, because if you get that birdie, and let's say then you have 3 birdies in a row, then you're still hot, right? And it gives you the chance that if you end up on the next hole and you end up on a result that asks if you're hot, then so 2 in a row is hot. 1 out of 2 is semi-hot, and you're going to need the decider die to come up with a dot to be hot, or if it is blank, then you're neutral. And cold is the same thing. If you bogeyed or worse the last 2 holes, and again, as long as you play it consistently, like I don't know about, let's say if you had a double bogey on one and a neutral on the other, I still would say that's semi-cold. But cold would be 2 of them in a row, 2 bogeys, a bogey and a double bogey. But if you have 1 of those, then it's semi, and again it means the decider die. Now the other one is, if you've got, let's say you birdied and bogeyed, what would be the choice? Then I would say you are both semi-hot, semi-cold. So if you get to the right now chart, if it asks you if you're cold and the decider die is yes, then you would be cold. If it instead checks hot, you would also be hot if you have the decider die as yes. So that's the way that I play that, is that you could also have it where you are both cold and hot. It's like psychology, right? You might have a time when you feel like you're somewhat confident, but in other times the nerves might get to you, and so that's the way you're supposed to play it. It's basically, it's your most recent 2 holes, and there's a similar calculation in the baseball game for strikeouts or hits, depending on if you're it might even be because it's been a while since I played History Maker Baseball, but it might be that the pitcher, if he gave up a strikeout, or if he struck a batter out, it's hot. If he gave up a hit, it's cold. And then it might be vice versa, right? The batter is hot if he hits, and cold if he strikes out. I think that might be the case. But let's get these last 2 holes finished up here. It's looking pretty good for Justice Kramer, but he's going to have to play this par 3 17th and the par 4 18th, and there's a lot of water on both of these holes. And he is going to roll a 1. He gets a great break here on the par 3. So he has control 1, 2, 2. He isn't a hacker, so he gets a moderate birdie putt. So he will roll on the moderate. And he misses that. That's a 1-2, but now he gets an easy par. He wants to avoid sixes, and it's in the hole. So a par for Kramer on 17. Maintains the one-shot lead heading to the final hole, the 72nd hole of the tournament. And now Roberto Bastos, the Portuguese youngster. A little too late for him. He gets a white 5. It goes off the screen for you there. So it's going to be course control 26, golf cam green. It's not challenging, so that helps. Par 3 and a 3, so it's not challenging. So he gets a clutch birdie putt. He's going to... Well, he could get 2 blue chips if he makes this. He's going to try to make this. We put him to minus 18. Needs a 1-3. And he makes it. So he doubles his chips and he gets a birdie. So he'll head to 18 with 2 chips. He can improve his putt, or he could take control, or both. And now Fabio Antonucci, also 4 back. And he's going to take a patient par. He'll have a chip. All right, so Roberto Bastos on the 18th. Yeah, so I guess in that case, again, I think I would say hot and cold, or semi-hot and semi-cold if you would bogey and then eagle. I don't think there's any more weight, although, you know, if I'm playing golf and I eagle the hole, then I'm probably doing some, you know, I'm going to try and, you know, floss and do the mashed potato and all those funky dances that nobody wants to see me dance to, but I will be doing it. No doubt about it. The old the pelvic thrust, I mean, that's probably my signature celebration, is the pelvic thrust. It really is good for all occasions, especially if someone has swallowed poison and needs to induce vomiting. All right, so Roberto takes control of this with a chip. He still has 1 to spend here, so let's see what his... Okay, 2-3-3. See if he can get a birdie and join those other guys. And then if you got a bogey from Kramer, you would end up with a 4-way playoff. Let's see, 2-3-3. Is he king? No. So this is going to be a short game check. Nah, I don't think so. He is not soft, so it's an easy par putt. He'll make it gimme, and he's going to finish minus 18. So Bastos comes up short. All right, we're going to play in the order of honor, and that's going to be Justice Kramer. So 4 degrees of course difficulty. He wants another white 1 or a white 6, one or the other. It's a 3. 56 is going to be in the sand in 1. And a green 3, so a decent lie. Sand in 1, green 3. Is he chunky? No, he's not. Easy second putt for par. All right, let's hold off on him. Remember, easy second putt for par. Oh no, drop the die. One moment here. I hope I can find it without too much. Luckily, it bounced onto my carpet and not onto the concrete, which would amplify it to the next dimension. All right, so Antonucci. Yeah, you have to take control on this hole, I think, if you can. So Antonucci, it's going to be golf cam green. He's going to finish out the hole before Justice Kramer with the easy par. So 5, par 4. Friendly, no. Challenging, no. It's going to be an easy putt for par for him. His easy putt is made. And now Justice Kramer. Got to avoid the 6s, and he will be our first victor on the new season of the Tenacious Golf Tour. And it is in the hole. Justice Kramer. I would say all rise for Justice, but I think some other sports star has that particular mantra, so we will. And I love that team to the hilt. So anyway, Justice Kramer. -20. Victor of the Celebrity Classic as we get started on a new tour season. He has a pretty dang good card, actually. It's let's take a look at it here real quick. I actually feel somewhat, it seems shady that he's got this card, but Shaper Bomber, Shaper Semi Bomber, Hero Laser Semi Soft, Sandy Semi Gold, Icon Semi Icon Semi Dynamic. So he's got a lot of good stuff on there, and he came through today. Tied for second, Fonseca, White, Bastos in fourth. Tied for fifth, Antonucci, Kenny Service. Tied for seventh, Cliff Pettibone, Jim Zeithofer, Carlos Quesada. Also tied, Kevin Percival, 10th, with Michael Reed and Yanni Najima following up at the back. So Brandon, yeah, you might. Well, it's up to you, but if you want to, it should be there. I have playlists, so you just have to, jump down to wherever you want to pick it back up again. It was some fun. We had some new winners. We have a new winner here, and this tiered system really, really brings that about. Really helps to improve the it's not all about the variability, but I think it is important to try and have it feel natural for a golf tour. When you get your John Rahms playing on the when you get your John Rahms and your Colin Morikawas and your Scott Schefflers and Rory McIlroy's playing, they are going to rise to the top, but they don't play every tournament. And so, I still think Emmerich in season 2 really just played his tail off, of course. But, so, again, this is a slow and steady wins the race kind of tour, but I don't need those anymore, at least for now. So, there aren't quite as many custom cards, but we'll see how often they come up. Thing is, with Kramer, he's, a 3B? So, when he's on the leaderboard, I think there's a good chance he's going to find a way to win it, or he's going to be right in the mix. But, he's not going to be a big-time player all the time. Thank you, Dwayne. Glad you dropped in for a few minutes here. So I was doing some soccer, but now it's been a few days. I was getting the golf thing ready. I still have to now. The next step is setting this to be able to import to a score-keeping setup. For the points, the money, scoring, and all that stuff. So that's next. Brandon. Let me see. I'm trying to remember. You were asking about exemptions. Exemptions on the tour. So I'm following I'm following basically what I believe the PGA Tour is, which is, so for this tour, this is 2021, okay? Anybody who won a tournament in 2019 would get an exemption through the 2020 and the 2021 season, okay? So you get 2 years for a win, okay? So the people who won in 2020 would get an exemption through 22. With this caveat, if you win a second tournament in that span, that adds another year onto your exemption. So let's say you won your first tournament in 2019. Let's say you win a second one in 2019. Well, that means you would get it through 2022 then. Emmerich, and I think there might be a cap at 5 years, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So Emmerich, he's got a lot. Now, in the PGA Tour, the other thing about that is there are for tournaments like the Masters, anybody who has ever won a tournament for the Masters, anybody who's won the Masters tournament automatically is exempt for the rest of their lives. For as long as they feel as though they can play in a round, they are welcome to show up. Some of these guys, like, I don't know. I think Nicklaus probably still goes. Gary Player might still go. Is it Trevino maybe lately? There's been some changes here, but some of these guys when they get to a point with age where they just decide, you know what, I can't really keep up with these guys anymore. I like the atmosphere of the tournament. I'm basically treated like a god. I'm just going to go and so like the 3 elder statesmen for the Masters kind of get to do the first tee, and they sit there and stroke their egos, and it's a good old time, and that's that. It's kind of the same thing as well, but see, so the Masters, again, lifetime exemption if you win that for the Masters tournament. There's also, I think, maybe a 5-year exemption on the tour itself if you win the Masters. So that's another aspect to it. Like if you win a Masters and it's like it's one of your 2 tour victories that you've had. I'm trying to think of a guy. Larry Mize, let's say. I don't think he won many tour events, but he did win a Masters. That might have gotten him 5 years on the tour exempt. Same thing with the U.S. Open. The other majors, it's the same kind of thing. And maybe even the Players' Championship gives you that kind of extra exemption. So what you want to look up is priority ranking. That's a good place to find how they... because it's... I mean, there is a tour card or whatever, but it's like, it's a priority rank, and so they offer a lot of people a chance to play on the tour. But not the best players aren't going to want to play in every tournament, so that's why some of these lesser players, the guys that just graduated from the Corn Ferry Tour. Maybe some college guys get some exemptions on occasion for whatever reason. That's how it works. So they will then be asked. I think some tournaments, maybe a lot of them do now, have a few spots that are open to qualifiers. Like they may have a Monday, Tuesday qualifying, something like that, just to try and, or maybe it's just a Monday qualifier. Let a few guys in, so that are not on the tour, and they usually have a tough time with that. But anyway, yeah, Larry Mize, poor Greg Norman, but I don't know. I guess at this point, saying poor Greg Norman is probably like close to a um, one of the wokest faux pas at the moment, right? With his alignment with the LIV tour, which I think I read that came to an agreement with. I think it was, is it WB for carriage as far as American television. So I don't know. I like stuff that upsets the apple cart with the PGA Tour. Those guys are a bunch of, stuffed collars, cigar smoking, brandy guzzling elitists that ought to have their worlds shaken up a little bit from time to time, right? Not the golfers so much, but these guys who basically just glom off of the golfers. What does Jay Monahan really do to deserve that? He's like some kind of sports executive. I guess he knows how to navigate whatever media waters or the wokesters that are out there that just want to hold everybody hostage to make sure that you aren't offending anybody. So your cigar is lit now. Well, everybody's entitled to have a cigar, I guess. I have to say, I have never smoked a dang thing in my life. So whether it be tobacco, marijuana, nothing. I guess I'm a fraidy cat. Maybe it would help my voice as far as like if I wanted to get into like Thurl Ravenscroft, Tony the Tiger, they're great kind of vocal tones, dulcet tones of guys like him and Harry Callis. Probably cigars would do that too, right? I remember pictures of Harry Callis with these like cigars that are about that long. I'm like, holy shit. Excuse my language. Holy crap. I guess that's one that lasts you the whole game. But baseball season's coming up. I'm in one of the coolest. I think it's one of the coolest fantasy leagues. I was like skeptical of it for at first a little bit, but it's pretty dang neat. It's a dynasty league. We have a salary cap. We have 15 prospect slots. My prospects are. So I've been in the process of a 2-year tank, basically. Selling off some old players that are getting up there and not so reliable guys like Yelich and a few others. Syndergaard, that was a lucky sell off there. It like happened right before he had his major surgery and all that stuff. So, but I've got Andrew Painter. I was able to pick him up in a trade. Now he's like, I think MLB just came out today. He's 6th as far as prospects goes. I have Daniel Espino from the Guardians, Cleveland. I think he's rated 16th now. Quinn Priester, Mick Abel I have. I mean, those are him and Painter are both Philly prospects, so I guess maybe it shouldn't be a surprise that I have them. But who else? Logan O'Hoppe was another Phillies prospect, got traded to the Angels. I picked him up later on, and I have him on a cheap salary, which is pretty nice. Colson Montgomery, who's a shortstop prospect for the White Sox. Josh Jung, Texas is probably going to be their starting third baseman this year. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. But Every year, the let me see. Oh, Kramer goes in this one. So every year, the salaries appreciate $1 million each. So we have about a so it basically goes up about 35 million every year. So it really forces you to make some hard decisions. One of the guys I'm close friends with in the league has Mookie Betts on, I think, $29 million, and he's going to have to drop him just outright because he can't afford him. So, and the thing is that the way that the league is appreciated in the values, it's like, I think some of these guys that are high priced right now are going to go away. They're going to be on the market, and they're going to, so Betts might go for more like 15 or 20 as opposed to 29. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of stammering on here while I don't know if everybody's listening, but so I'm gonna have to start thinking about something to do with baseball probably. Of course, it's gonna get complicated by the fact my family might be looking at trying to relocate to a new place, so we'll see how that works out. That might take some time away from the playing games on the channel here over the summer, but we'll see how that goes. What it might mean is I might end up with a little nicer spot to do my rolling. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, Betts, I know that he bowls. He really should get into poker, right? Go right along with his last name. But yeah, that's something I haven't done in a long time. COVID really got me out of the bowling thing. I was in a bowling league there for a couple of years, and then COVID hit. We had to be basically each team had their own pair of lanes, and it was just, I mean, I liked my teammates, but I love the dynamic in bowling of, oh, I'm up against this other team. We're sharing a pair of lanes. We're maybe social, maybe shit talking each other, maybe it might be you're the second place team and they're the first place team, so it really adds some juice to it. And when you're so far apart, it takes away all of that stuff. You're wandering halfway down the center to look and see what your 3/4 the way down the center, maybe, to see what your opponent, your kind of like rival at the moment in that part of the standings, what they're doing. It's like, I do miss beer at bowling night. I could drink some beer here, but drinking alone is, I think that has a stigma to it. So what I am going to go up here and do now, probably going to take a break here from this stuff, and I'm going to probably go up and, I think there was a show on called Power Slap last night, and I'm not much of one for fisticuffs, but this kind of like seemed like a real weird concept, so I'm going to go check it out. So thanks for watching. Justice Kramer, newbie. I mean, he's been kicking around this tour for a while, but took a significant jump in his game and got the first victory of the new season. So as Brandon was pointing out, he can go back, and you can go back if you're new to this. Check out other seasons. You might need to go to Tabletop Baseball Plus, that channel, for the early season or 2. But 3 is on this channel, 4 is on this channel. I keep thinking about the possibility of maybe getting back together with Earl at Tabletop Baseball Plus, but for the time being, we're still hanging out here. So I don't know why I'm thinking that way, but I don't know. I guess just sometimes you reminisce, and just brings back good memories. But anyway, all right, take care. See you, Brandon, Dwayne, John, and JT. If that's Real Muto, then that's interesting. But anyway, probably not. All right, good night, everybody.